Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ambassador Kennedy, a FOIA requires, and this is according to the Office Inspector, a FOIA requires a response within 20 days. But the Secretary of State's office on multiple occasions has taken more than 500 days to respond. While the average response for federal agencies across the government for a simple request is 20.5 days, the State Department's average is 91 days. For a complex request, the government-wide average was 119 days. The State Department average is 535 days. What do you believe is a reasonable amount of time to respond to these FOIA requests?
Sir, obviously we want to go faster, but there is a significant problem here. We used to get maybe 10,000 FOIA requests a year. We are now, this year, we'll have a backlog of 30,000. I have poured additional resources into it. We have gone from some 64 people to 93, and depending on the budget for FY17, I'll push it under 118.
Do you prioritize requests? For instance, when you received a request for producing a calendar, is that a simple or complex case? I mean,
no. In order to be responsive to the Freedom of Information Act as we interpret it, we use FIFO, first in, first out.
So, but this wouldn't have been would this have been a Freedom of Information request for the calendars? If we request the calendars, how long would it take you to produce the calendar?
There are two separate strains. There is congressional document requests and the request under the Freedom of Information Act or the Privacy Act. One are public requests, one are from the Congress. And as I responded earlier to the Chairman, we will engage as soon as I get back this afternoon on the subject.
How long do you think that'll take?
I know we are partially through the Associated Press request.
I just ask a request. If the Chairman asks for the calendars, how long will it take to get the calendars?
I have to find out how many more have to be processed.
How many more what?
Because we at least, as a courtesy, as part of the agreement, we mark documents to the Congress about whether or not their public release would be detrimental to
national security. This is just a calendar.
If the Secretary of State was having a meeting, a sensitive meeting with a foreign government, a figure...
She's not there anymore.
That the existence of that meeting, sir, could be dispositive along the lines of activities the Secretary Kerry is carrying on. I'm not talking about, sir, to be clear, withholding information from you, but we have to process it so that you know what we consider sensitive as opposed to...
Let me move to something else. According to the Inspector General's office, the State Department has previously reported that certain records did not exist, only to later report that they actually do. Mr. Finney, it's your responsibility to ensure that the historical record is complete. Is that an accurate assessment?
Yes, sir, for the Office of the Secretary.
And I believe that you do that. You do a good job at that. I believe that you make a professional and honest effort to do that. Does it concern you that you don't have all of Secretary Clinton's records?
Sir, it always concerns me as far as making sure that we're taking care of getting the records for the archives for the State Department.
Do you think you have all of her records?
Sir, I have all that has been given to us, and that's what we're processing.
Are you aware that records have not been given to you?
Sir, all I have is what we have been given.
I'm asking, though, are you aware that there are records that have not been given to you?
No, sir. All I have is what we've been...
Are you aware that there's a missing laptop and an external storage device?
No, sir.
Well, there is, and the response that I believe that came from the Secretary's office, is this correct, Mr. Chairman? You can, if this is incorrect, you can correct me. But they said it was lost in the mail. Now, I would assume that this laptop contains information that should be in the record. It was a State Department laptop, State Department external drive. What I'd like to know is if it was lost in the mail, did anyone make any attempt to file a lost parcel claim with the post office?
Sir, I don't have any information on that at all.
Well, I'd like to find out
If I might,
Mr. Kennedy?
If I might, Mr. Palmer, to the best of my recollection, piecing your question to my knowledge, is the laptop in question was not a State Department laptop. It was not State Department property. And therefore, we don't know what was personal information on it or not. But also in response.
But here's the reason we're here, is because she was using non-State Department software, non-State Department servers, non-State Department communications devices, many of which was destroyed. Some of the electronic documents were bleached so that they're not recoverable. And you've got a laptop and an external storage device that's missing, they claim is lost in the mail, and I'd just like to know if there was any effort made to recover it, because it fits a pattern, and I can't help but be a little bit skeptical about what's coming from the State Department and from former Secretary Clinton about their willingness to provide the information that's been requested.
If I might, sir, the FBI has been turning over additional information that they have recovered from servers, from duplicates. We are in the process now of going through that material. We are now in the process of the first disk, which we understand contained about 14,900 pages. So we are going through that. We are committed to making sure that the federal archives are whole. And we will process the 14,900, and then the FBI has given us additional disk material that they have recovered from backups, and we will do those as well, and then make the records available.
My time has expired, but the last thing I want to ask you to do is I would like for you, even though it was not a State Department laptop, not a State Department external storage device, I would like for you to do the due diligence necessary, and this, Mr. Finney, if you have a role in this as well, to try to find out what happened to that laptop and whether or not there was an effort to recover it from the post office, if in fact it was actually lost in the mail. I yield back.